add to Matthew Rappaport,
Brandon K. Raps,
New York actor, interviewer, movie maker, TikTok liver, TikToker, stream, YouTube reeler, YouTuber.
Insta Reela. Keep it a Reela. Be Reela. What's up, Brandon K. Raps?
Oh, I'm so happy you joined me here today.
I'm so happy to be here. Am I mirrored correctly?
Yeah, you're good. It's as good as it's gonna.
You're in the hood.
Good as it's gonna get.
There's not too many. The picture and the echo is not too bad, is it?
No, it's good.
Wipe you guys off. If you're watching at home, I'm wiping you. There we go.
So I was gonna tell everybody check out your YouTube, the Yoko Shimona movie, but you can plug all your YouTubes. You have like 5 YouTubes.
Sure, but I have a main one, Matt Rappaport Vlog. That's where I post my shorts. I have a verified one, but I don't use that as much, which is NY Actor M11.
This guy's the real deal. He makes a lot of content.
So much content.
I'm grateful for your friendship. Where do you find inspiration for all the content?
That's a good question. Sometimes it's not every day is the same. It's usually and it's great to be your friend. Obviously, you're a great guy, and you found me on TikTok, and you saw some of my videos that made you laugh and use my sounds, and it's one of those things where it's like I'll scroll through content, but also my own thoughts and my coffee, as I like to say. And here in New York, coffee helps. Coffee makes things possible, but it can be a struggle, but a lot of times it's stream of consciousness. What am I thinking about? What am I seeing? Usually my content sometimes comes from I see something on the internet or I see something in real life, whether it's news or a situation, and that inspires a feeling or a thought that makes me want to make a video it's almost like that was a springboard for it, but it's not necessarily related, if that makes sense.
When you showed up just now, were you wearing your tiny hands?
I had them on, yeah.
I didn't even, because I see Matthew on live so much. He tiny hand Matt. Let me see. Show him we're on YouTube. So there you go. Yeah, the tiny hands.
Well, I try to do it. I try to make it so it's weird. I feel like it's weird looking at myself like this because I'm used to.
You look different, bro. You look different than every other time I've seen you, but.
Bad or worse or better?
You're good. Good. No, you're fine. It's just this is how you look usually. You're up right against the camera. So hello everybody,
So yeah, I used to do I've been live streaming forever. I live streamed too. I was on Periscope. I made a sign that's back in the day. I never took it down. I was on Periscope. I was on Google Plus.
What does the sign say?
It says the words cool, but it was originally it was I was playing Wheel of Fortune on it for a while live, which was kind of okay, but I don't know. It's just
what is the logistics of that? How you were writing things up on the board to be Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, I would do like a hangman, like they'd put the letters, and then it would be like people would guess letters, and it was almost more like I guess it was like a hangman, but I tried to make it called Wheel of Fortune.
I was on Periscope as well.
Periscope, right? And then before that, Google Plus.
We never crossed paths.
We never did, yeah. But I feel like, what about you? That's a good question. I know I'm your guest, but this is a new format, Brandon K Show. But like, what about you? What do you get inspiration? Like, what makes you want to? And by the way, we're filming this at midnight. That was my fault, which is why I'm stumbling.
Well, it's only 9 here, so I find inspiration. Something makes me laugh. I think that's as simple. I think, and Matthew, hey, if one of his videos is gonna make me laugh, then I make I respond to it or I duet it. If I have a funny thought throughout the day, I'm like, maybe people would like to hear this. That's my inspiration. I don't know what else.
I'm in the show.
Huh?
By the way, I'm in the show. Everyone can see you. That's what it says on the thing.
What's
the show? Yes, finally, you had your own show. I had my own show. One day to have my own show. I'd like to have my own show again.
I call everything my show, whether I'm on Instagram or Periscope or TikTok. I'm like, welcome to the Brandon K Show. Do you only consider your YouTube,
No, I mean, it's content, but this is content too. But a show where where it's more production, where it's more planned out, but sometimes not even planned out. Sometimes it's like this. This is my hangout. This is like my hangout show. It's called Hangout Conversations. I would have one guest. I'd have a surprise guest for the guest, and then I'd have an audience feedback session later.
Yeah, Matt was literally doing this show, what, 5 years ago or how long ago?
2011.
2011. So were you doing like Skype just like this?
Hangouts.
It's another a YouTube feature or a Google Plus feature.
Yeah, that's what
Gotcha.
it was. Yeah, and I'd have a guest. I have a co-host. I had a monologue, sort of, not like Jimmy Fallon, a little bit like introducing the guest. And then the problem is that unlike you, which you'll cut this kind of short, I didn't care about time. I didn't care about the edit. I cared about the live audience. If you were here live, if this was for you. In terms of like editing, I didn't think about that. So I just put it up there and it was like some of them were an hour, some of them were 2 hours, some of them were 3 hours. And like nobody wants to watch that. And
Here's
like,
my plan, Matt. Here's my master plan. I take this, I edit it down to like 5-10 minutes, but then I post the whole thing as a podcast. So I get the best of both worlds.
That's cool. So you're gonna edit this just for the video part.
Yeah.
Like highlights. And then you're gonna have the whole thing as a podcast. So you're listening to us. So everything I'm doing with my hands, if you're listening on the podcast, you're missing it. You're missing it.
He's got tiny hands on. You guys are
tiny
missing
hands, real hands. My real hands aren't that humongous.
But hold on.
I'm holding.
But if there's really good stuff, like if some of the segments are good, then I'll make multiple videos of the same guest. But
segments
or reels.
He has a friend named Harris. Harris, are you watching?
Harris won't be on my channel because he's hiding. He hides from the public. I'll have to cut that out.
I'll cut it out. All right, cut that out. I was trying.
So, what made you want to be an actor off from the get go?
So when I was a kid, I didn't know you could only be one job. So when I was like 5 or something, I was like, I want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a dentist. I wanted to be a cook. I want to be a magician, a chef, magician, all that. And then I realized, I got to be one thing. And I was thinking about being a doctor, but then I was like, blood, I don't love blood. And then I would take acting classes on the weekends, and I had a great time, and I look forward to it all the time. And I was in the school play and doing all that. And I was like, this is fun. Can I do this? And when I was I think I was like 14, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an actor. And I've been at it for a while. I got my SAG card, Screen Actors Guild, and I was.
You've been in SAG a while now.
I've technically been in SAG now for like 21 since like 2001.
Crazy. I was watching like your YouTube and I saw like a video of you as like a teenager interviewing people. You look like a teenager at least.
Except I wasn't. Except that was only 10 years ago.
Oh, seriously?
It's just me without a beard. I probably still almost look like that. Not too bad. Not too bad.
You look like you're like 16 back then.
Right. Well, so that's it too. Is that I always played younger. So, but even in my real life, it's like people think I'm younger, which is good and bad. I don't really.
I should have known that from like watching the movie or whatever. But in that specific video, I just saw the thumbnail and I was like, oh, that looks like a real old one. But interesting.
Probably not that old. I did a character. So I do have a YouTube channel called The Thinking Matt. I haven't made a new one in a while, but I was in The Thinking Matt. That was probably me. That was in the early 2000s. But I was trying to do something different because in YouTube world, doing characters was a thing at some point. We had and then it exploded a little bit. What's her face? Miranda Sings.
Miranda Sings. Yeah, that was like the 2010 era. Or...
They still like music video. This is my terrible guys. I do terrible impressions. Oh my God, they killed Getty.
There it is. Okay, it's from 9 years ago. You're right. Interesting.
Yeah. It's weird. But also, I never really had a beard.
So what happened? So what good acting have you done?
No, all my acting is. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I've done what good acting? I've done some mediocre acting and some terrible acting and whatever.
That would be a judgment call, but I mean, like, what?
I did Gossip Girl season 1 back in the day, but I mean, it wasn't like I wouldn't call that like that's just something that people would be like, oh, what's something you were on that maybe we saw you on, but so that's not necessarily good acting. It was like I walk in and I walk out, and it's like
hey guys, you walk out.
Yeah, it was a room service.
Bye guys.
But in terms of like, I did my own movie called Yoko Shimono about a mime-minute therapist. I was in that. I was in a couple of web series that are on YouTube. I've done some plays and things like that off Broadway in Manhattan. And
do you stick with the plays for a while? Like, do you have like a month or two or?
So I really haven't, to be honest. Like, I made my movie about 10 years ago. And since then, here and there, I did some projects, web series here and there. But for the most part, I spent the majority of my time focusing on making content, being a social media producer, a content creator, social media marketing. That I've been putting all my creative energy and endeavors into that. It's been cool, but I feel like that's really like where you get where the freedom is. You see like all these celebrities, all these movie stars, Drew Barrymore, Kevin Bacon. Everyone has TikTok, Instagram, and they're on it and they're posting and they have people editing all the time. And you're like, I always wonder, like Jack Black, all these people, like why are they on there? What are they doing? Like, and I think it's because a lot of people, especially people below the age of 30, definitely below the age of 20, maybe even below the age of 40 or 50, are spending 70, 80% of their time on their phones, and a high percent of that time they're on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or social media or Facebook or whatever. And so if they're spending all that time on those apps, how much time are they spending going to the movies? How much time are they spending watching TV? How much time are they spending watching streaming? Not as much, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, no, it's like if whatever Kim Kardashian or Drew Barrymore didn't go on TikTok, people would just forget about them.
Or not even know who they are. A lot of, I
Yeah.
bet, like, it's common for us to be like, oh, to say an actor and know who it is. But I wonder, people like Gen Z and younger, not that they don't know actors, but if you mentioned, like, said, oh, hey, do you know who Robert De Niro is? And
Right.
be like, no. Right?
Right. That could be. Well, that's just because time has passed, but also like now there's probably hundreds of people with millions of followers. So there's all these like celebrity TikTokers and stuff.
But that's also something I don't understand. When I was back in the day, if you had 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, a million followers, everyone knew mostly who you were on social media. Nowadays, I will encounter people on TikTok all the time that have 50,000, 20,000, a million, 10 million, whatever. And like, I don't know who, I don't think
Like it doesn't mean anything anymore. But yeah, like I saw someone almost has 1 million YouTube followers.
That's why, do the followers matter? I mean, they matter, but they only matter to some
And I
people.
was like, this is a guy like I could message right now. Like he didn't seem like that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah, because I think it's just a number. But I also, and I've talked to some people like, oh, that's not a big deal.
But if you do have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, like you got money coming in, don't you? Good money.
Oh, AdSense? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It varies. I don't know what good money is.
Well, I'm just saying, like I imagine 20,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers. If you had like 500,000 views, like a couple times a week,
the more
like
views you have, more followers, but especially the more views you have, obviously you can make more money. But in other things too. But what about you? What are so you have the show and you have your own channels. What do you aspire to? What do you like? Why do you do it? Like, what's the motivation or?
Well, I think even as you were talking, I was thinking about like the freedom. First of all, like I just want to creatively express myself. That's my main thing.
That's important, yeah.
But if you can get paid for it, or if you can support yourself off of it, I think that's both of our dream.
Sure, but not just, well, I mean, this is part of it, but I still want to work with certain actors and work with directors and writers and do things like that. But in terms of resources and money and all that, it's tricky. It's not the easiest thing. And so it's a work in progress.
Well, you're doing the TikTok live thing. Like it's a whole new world where you can get tips on TikTok live. You can
I will say, I was just
paid for content.
Now, what's interesting is that like a lot of people enjoy me just like this on live, just as me. Instead of, and lately I've just been trying this. They have a 4-way and a 4-way battle screen, and I've been lately trying to do that and do that more because of the gifts and all that. Because people usually gift if you do that, not just normally. But that's just it. It's like, do I want to be on TikTok live and let people enjoy me as is, and not necessarily get the support for that, even though people like it better, or do I want to do the battles where people might not like it as much, but I'll get more support? So it's a catch-22. Like my mom.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like besides the battles, I was thinking like you could just be talking and still get tips.
You can, but I don't really. That's what
you feel like. Yeah, people aren't as incentivized to send gifts.
Like, I had a bunch of people pop in, and I don't necessarily know, and they let me know they like me better like this, but I wasn't necessarily, during the time that I wasn't battling, I wasn't like, people were just necessarily throwing me gifts, and that's and like if you are a creator that's doing it to make money in terms of like support yourself, not necessarily to be greedy or anything, I think it's fair fair game. But it's still time that you're putting into it, right?
It's a whole crazy culture. A lot of people watching this won't even know about. My family, my friends. It's like
They
this whole
won't.
like you get on
I don't,
battles and everybody's like, you gotta tap the screen, you gotta send us gifts, and then
I
like
don't like that part of it.
you're not even having a conversation. They're just sending gifts to each other.
Right. Like so what we're doing now, I try to do this on TikTok. I do not try. I do this on TikTok, and usually there'll be a live battle happening at the same time. But the thing is that I see it as this is the main thing: us having a conversation with our people and with each other. And then if there's a battle going on, if a gift happens or there's like something exciting, we can address it. But I feel like it should be secondary. But that's why people either they want to battle and they want to do this, they want to go tap the screen and win a battle,
Mhm.
or they don't want to battle and they just want to talk.
They're like robots almost, but I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
say. I mean, I met them. Some of them, they're nice people, but like they're just solely focused on getting the gifts and whatever. But so,
I feel like
but
that's
it's been funny to watch you for 2 years because sometimes you're by yourself, sometimes you're back and forth like we are now. We go live together all the time, but sometimes you're just against someone who's just not paying attention at all. They're just like tap the screen, everybody, send me gifts.
crazy.
And then you're just like, you just deal with it, but you're kind of angry about it.
Yeah, it's not even anger. It's just like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's just bizarre. It's like why? Like why? Like,
but that's how it started. But over the years, now you're kind of used to it. You're just like, oh, all right.
No, I'm used to it, but I still don't understand it. I just don't get it. I mean, I get it in theory why it's happening. I get the culture has set it up to happen, but I just don't understand why people want that. Like why they think. I wonder if I don't want to ruin the take, but like I wonder I should have like yeah, do I look better? No, that's worse. Okay. That was worse.
You can adjust and stuff. I do edit stuff out, so you're good. I edit stuff out on both, so
you're good. But in terms of like can we I know you're recording, but take a time out for a second. I just yeah, I don't necessarily know that we need to include TikTok stuff. I don't know like I don't know what people want to hear about. I don't know like I don't want to come across I am grateful for it all, but I don't it's still like the problem with all these apps, not problem, but they all evolve over time, right? And they change over time, and the way they are change over time. And when live first happened, I think there were gifts, but there weren't battles, and then there weren't rankings, and then there wasn't, and then like things evolved from there, and kind of became something different than it started out.
Did you used to get tips on Google back in the day?
No, I don't. When I was on Google, when I did Hangout conversations on Google Plus, and when I did Periscope eventually introduced tips, but you had to like qualify for it, and they took a cut, and it was beyond when I was basically done with it. But I didn't really make money off those apps. That's what I'm saying. It's like a new thing. Like lately, for the longest time, I said, why aren't these Facebook and Google and all these places? Well, YouTube pays, but why aren't these social media apps paying creators for their content, even Twitter, whatever, like whether it's based on time spent or views or whatever, they give them a piece of it because that would just encourage them to want to do it more and help support them. And now I feel like they're coming around finally to wanting to do that, like Facebook and Instagram with their bonuses on Reels and YouTube having shorts. And I think there's a short money thing, which I'm not part of yet. Snapchat has some money for spotlight people, creators, and they're starting to do it more and more. I don't necessarily know if it's enough to live off of. It's still a tricky thing. But again, like if you spend 10 minutes going live, an hour going live, a day going live, and you get, you can make anywhere from no money to thousands of dollars. And some people will always make no money, and some people will always make money. And it just boggles my mind because there is no rhyme or reason to it. Do you agree with that? Like, there's no rhyme or reason.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's I've had my biggest tips were somebody that came in for no reason, dropped $10 and left and never came back. So it's like
exactly.
It's like I feel like
so it's like so many people say you're funny, you're comical, you're this or that, and then they throw all these gifts to the person that's not funny or comical, and that's fine. But like that's part of it. It's like it becomes one of those things where it's like I know I'm funny and good and great and people love me, and I know other people are cool and in their own ways, but it's a weird culture. Don't you agree?
I agree. We don't have to focus on it, but did you ever try Vine back in the day?
I was on Vine. I was on all the apps. I was on Vine. I was on MySpace. I was on an app called Path. I was on Peach, which came out after Path.
I remember Path. I'd never heard of Peach.
Peach, Vine, MySpace, Google
Keek?
Plus, Peach, Peach.
No, Keek. Do you remember Keek? It was another thing like Vine but longer.
How does it? What's the
Keek?
EK? No.
Yeah. It was an interesting one. How about Snapchat? Did you have a Snapchat phase?
No, I'm actually still on Snapchat. Snap, they call me Snap Matt. One of the jobs I had, they called me Snap Matt because I started their Snapchat because Snapchat was kind of the thing that started, you know, a lot. Obviously, MySpace and Facebook started the initial social media, or AOL even. I would say I argue AOL chat rooms and AOL that was social too. But Snapchat basically was the format that started it all with the short videos, like a short video app, even if they were messages or they were whatever. Instagram obviously was photo, but they were videos, and you could post videos on Facebook and YouTube and whatever, but they were focused on it. They weren't focused on text or anything else.
You got a good following on Snapchat?
So I have a following, but I don't think it's big. The problem with Snapchat is it's hard to know how people like what your following is there.
It's weird. I have a lot of issues with Snapchat and all the ads and this and that.
Oh well, they all have ads. No one can get more ads.
Well, it's like all ads. Okay, but anyways,
all the apps have ads. All the apps.
I know, but Snapchat is like all ads, or like they're always like showing you stories of stuff like celebrity stories and everything.
I don't know why. Lately, I just like cross my eyes, and I don't know why I think it's funny.
It used to be different, but anyways. So where do you get all the information about, like, all the hot stuff that's happening in each of the apps? Are you just on them and see them, or do you like read a magazine?
Of that, and also I follow different people on Twitter, and I built a Twitter following. I love being on Twitter. Twitter's a great place to get information and just be very quick. Like you could just write something quickly, or even post one of your TikToks or Instagrams there. So it's very quick and very nice, and you get information quickly, like stuff happening now. And you can get that on TikTok and Facebook and other places, and Twitter and where else? YouTube too. You can get information like that, but it's usually quicker on Twitter, especially because I have different people over the years. I was into social media. I was also into tech. So you
subscribe to people who also do that.
Yeah, but also,
they talk about it.
And social media. Yeah. And I was doing social media marketing for a bunch of different places. And I still do sometimes, but it just finding like the information quickly, but that's why I saw the TikTok coming out with TikTok now, which is basically this app called Be Real, which is kind of like my content's always been more spur of the moment. This is what's happening now. Here it is. Sometimes I'd have a catch. Sometimes I do a trend, but it would be more like that. If I planned it or I did an edited video, it would happen, but it wouldn't be as often. And I feel like, I don't know, my style, I like the documentary, more authentic style that's a little bit more rough, right? A little bit more in your face, a little bit like maybe the audio is not perfect, maybe the picture's not perfect, but you feel like you're there. Whereas like a lot of people want to make something so beautiful and so edited, pretty. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like someone like Casey Neistat, who just moved back to New York, he's on YouTube and he made a beautiful little movie that he put together. It took him forever, I'm sure. And like, it was fine. But like at the end, it was like, okay, he decided to move back. Casey, if you're watching, you moved back to New York City, and you can maybe shaded this part out. I don't know. But
you like said the name and everything.
Trash Casey. I'm not trying to trash anyone. I'm just saying I think that like my point was rough and authentic is what they're going for. And like a lot of people on TikTok will watch videos and go, this is obviously fake or staged, right? Do you do that where you're like, oh, it's viral or not viral? But
oh god, yeah. But I think the thing about the Be Real, and like I just noted this from being on it, is like basically it tells you right now you make a reel. So right now I would be forced to make a reel of me with you right now, which I might not have done otherwise. You know what I mean?
Or you could leave the room and do it somewhere else.
No, but I'm saying that it's encouraging me to make it in the moment about something I wouldn't have made it about otherwise.
Right. So it's authentic, but it's also it's forced in a way.
It's forced. Here, I'm going to do one right now.
Okay. I never do it. The Be Real app to see what it's like.
Huh?
Should I download it to see what it's like?
I think it's kind of a ghost town, but you could give it a try.
It's a ghost town.
All right, watch this. This will be fun.
So wait, so you must have. So do you always post to Be Real when it says it, or do you usually miss
No,
it?
I only did it like once or twice, and they're like for Be Real, it's like film for 30 seconds. So I was like at my brother's house, and I was like, oh, here I am. I'm at my brother's house. There's his cat. Like it was kind of like the idea was like
It's like mini. It's like this, but it's like mini Truman Show. See, like something being live. When you're live, you're not.
I'm here with Matthew right now. This is
Hey,
a
Be Real.
authentic, in the moment
What's happening?
interview with Matthew talking about social media that I'm posting onto my social media right now.
Boom.
Say something, Matt.
Something, Matt. Hi.
Maybe I'll post that on my story or something. It was. I think you nailed it. Yeah.
I nail things.
So yeah, we talked about all the
Do
different
you have
stuff.
like a list of questions that you've come up with? Is that what you're looking at, or
Yeah, it's the Brandon K show.
no? It's arguing what the show is. You could be coming up with these questions on the top of your head.
Well, some of them because we're having a conversation, but some of them are to keep things.
You have like something in there that says that's like, what's your favorite movie or favorite?
I have a whole thing, a whole format.
Do you have like, do you have a bonus round coming up?
Yeah. And then this is a question I've asked you on TikTok before. Did you ever like see a guy taking a shit on the subway or anything crazy like that?
I have seen a guy like with his basically with his pants down. I saw his ass. I don't know if he was or his butt. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but he was probably homeless. But I don't know if he was pooping. I don't know if he's taking a crap.
He may have been pooping.
I probably have seen it, but I try to block it out. You know, it's.
Was it like so? It was kind of like a one-time incident. Like you don't see crazy people all the time.
I mean, I have seen plenty of people that were. I wouldn't use. I don't know. They've seen a lot of different disturbing things. Yeah, over the time.
Well, what's the craziest? What's the craziest stuff you've seen in New York specifically?
No, probably that with a guy with basically his pants. He was basically like. He might have been pooping. Actually, now I think about it, in the subway, and I switched cars or whatever, because these people, a lot of people might be living on the subway. You know, it's sad.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's not the point. The point was just what crazy stuff do you see?
No, I know, crazy. I'm trying to think of something else crazier. I mean, I occasionally run into celebrity actors. I saw this is. I don't know. This is a crazy story, but in Manhattan, there'll be different people that you might come across. And one day I used to work at Huffington Post, and I was walking and I stopped, and I just had been background in a movie called Kate and Leopold, an extra. And Hugh Jackman, I kind of hung out with him, name dropping, and then Liv Schreiber was there. So a couple weeks later, I'm walking to work in Astor Place downtown, and I stop at the light. It's winter, it's cold, and then there's like no one around. It's the morning. It's like 8:30 in the morning, whatever, and it's going to work. And I see a dude on a bicycle waiting at the light, and I recognized it was Liv Schreiber right on the bicycle. So he saw me see him, and I was thinking, oh, do I just go, oh, hey, Liv, like something like just hi? You never know what to say. But before I could even think about that, he noticed that I noticed him. I wasn't going to walk over him. I was like standing on the block waiting for the light while he was waiting for the light in the street. And he started circling on his bike. So like waiting for the light so he wouldn't have to interact with me. It was really weird.
Oh,
but anyway, yeah.
Well, he probably does that just to not interact with anybody, but
yeah, it was fine. And one time I stopped at a corner and some guy was on his cell phone. And we were waiting for the light there, and I turned to look at his face because he was talking loud. And I was like, as soon as I looked at his face, it literally was Neil Patrick Harris. And I'm like,
walking around the streets of New York.
Yeah, it was just literally there. And I was like, and then I noticed that, and it was close to theater time, and then we were by Broadway, so he was going to see a show, I guess, and he was running. He was like, "Oh, I love you, Neil." And then like one time I was going down into the subway, and a guy came up the subway, and it was Paul Dano. I don't know if you know who that is, the Riddler. And in the new Batman movie,
yeah.
Him. And I was like, he was in one of my favorite movies, maybe my favorite movie of all time. There Will Be Blood. I drink your milkshake.
Yes.
He was in that. He was in Little Miss Sunshine, which is great. Anyway, so it was happening so fast, and he has a name that doesn't always pop in your head because it's not like like Tom Hanks or whatever with Robin Williams. It's like what's his name? And my Rolodex was quick, and I was like, Paul Dano. Oh, Paul. I was like, oh, you're awesome, Paul. And he turns around, he walked past me, turned around and goes, thanks, man. And then he walked away. Because I think he was really happy, because this is even before he was even that famous, or like he was sort of, people knew him, but I don't think people knew his name. And the fact that I said his name probably meant so much to him, right? Because a lot of people go, "Oh, you're the guy." with the
I
name."
know. I wish he had said thank you. Like, thank you for knowing my name. But yeah.
Well, do you think that's what he meant? That's why he thought it was great that I said Paul?
I think that you would be in a small handful of people who know his name. But yeah, I think he probably gets just, hey, good job or whatever. But yeah, people don't know his name often.
Right, the
Probably.
fact that I said Paul. So I think it's very important. Like when you say, like words and actions obviously have meaning, but like you really can make or break someone, not even whether you intend to or not, with what you say or what you, and it's crazy.
Using their real name adds the human element because, like, we just kind of see them as like cartoon characters or larger than life, whatever. Like, people just like yell their catchphrase at them, but like knowing their name, it's like, oh, this is my friend or my buddy, you know.
But it's also kind of like social media. Like I'll use my real name; it's me everywhere, and a lot of people will use an alias, which is fine or whatever. And you know, it's troubling in a sense. It's fine, but it's also troubling in a sense that like you want to, when people come into your like live or they come into your conversation, into your threads on your social media, you can look at their profile, maybe it's private, maybe they have a cartoon character or an avatar, and like how do you really, like, you want to connect with them, but it's hard to connect with people when they themselves don't necessarily have a presence. It's like a lot of people want to watch and see things and interact, but they don't really they want to be kind of keep a sense of privacy, which I understand. But I just put it all out there. So everyone's like, "Aren't you afraid of your privacy?" I'm like, "Well, like I feel like I just put myself out there, right?"
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. I like to keep myself a little anonymous, but it's hard online because like I'll post this, but like people might see my brother and my cousin, they'll figure out my last name or whatever. But I don't try to share it that much.
I wear my sunglasses at night and inside
So
sometimes.
now it's time. No, hold on.
And now, drum roll, please.
No.
You may have won $5 million.
Matthew, you're on this TikTok live all the time. You're talking to all these pretty girls. Can you teach me how to flirt?
All right. First of all, I wouldn't say that I would. You just got to be yourself, man. You got to be yourself. Flirting is not an art. I'm not saying an expert. I just think you just have to ask questions and listen and interact. And not everyone's going to be receptive.
Yeah.
Receptive is the word. Yeah. And like, you have to recognize that. And like, you can't have expectations. I don't necessarily know that everything I do is flirting, but maybe, do you feel like it comes across that way? I don't know.
Do you ever say like a compliment and it's either taken a good way or a bad way?
Sure, yeah, but like, in terms of that, like, I want the audience to have a good time, and obviously the person I'm talking to have a good time, and like, your beard looks really nice today, Brandon.
Thank you.
Did you do something different?
I like you more now.
There you go. See, and yeah, I just flirted with you, even like, and I'm secure enough to do that. But
do you think girls like being complimented? Like, let's just say it's like this really beautiful TikTok girl.
What did this turn into?
No,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think everybody likes being complimented. Everyone does.
Because like I feel in my mind, in my crazy mind, I feel like they're so hot they hear compliments all day, so they don't want to.
It is. You don't want to compliment someone on their looks. I mean, you can to some degree, but people, especially the more physically attractive people, if that's all they're hearing, they want you to say, "Oh, I really like your choice of outfit or your choice of something." Maybe not even that. No, that's wrong. I don't know.
I really like your personality.
Like maybe you're funny, or maybe, oh, I like the way you. I don't know. I'd have to be around.
Is that what you do? You don't compliment them physically, but you'll pick something else?
Well, I don't even. It could be. It depends on the moment and the situation. It's all about reading people. I used to wait tables too. It's like you have to read people. Right. And you're not always going to get it right, but you feel them out and see, like, some people are more open and they're like, you can tell they're playful, and you can tell it's like acting the same way. When you are in a scene with someone, when you're improvising with someone, and you just go for it and see what happens. But with acting or with improvising or whatever, if the way it's all made up, so it's the person that you're doing it with knows they're also involved in it, and versus when you're live, some people are shyer and some people aren't as receptive to that interaction. Whereas back in the day, I felt like if you were a person that would get on camera and go live, you would be not always, but you would be a little bit more of a personality, like on YouTube or whatever. But I feel like nowadays everyone goes. A lot of people go on live just
Right,
because
that's true.
they can,
Yeah.
and they'll do the Gen Z thing, which is if you don't know, no offense to Gen Z, where they don't want to show their face, they don't want to be on camera, but they want to be live. They don't want to be on camera, but they want to be on a live, and they want
I
to
thought
get.
that was the chat roulette thing where you hide yourself off the camera and then you're playing with yourself.
I don't. I mean, I guess people do that. I don't think that's a golden
Dude,
rule.
and now it's Omegle. Omegle's the new
What is
Omegle.
the show?
Omegle's the new chat roulette.
No, I mean, yeah, they're similar. They're similar. Why?
Does acting come hard
Are you
to you?
trolling me?
No. Does
Also,
does acting come difficult to you?
does acting? I mean, acting is not always the same thing. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing character, if you're doing something for fun. It depends on if every character has a piece of you in it, and you're basically playing a different version of yourself because you are the one playing the person. So you just have to take that attitude and that perspective, and it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the whole atmosphere. I believe the director and the setup is important to have a good working environment for people because there's a lot of pressure with acting, and it could be the more pressure that you put on actors. It's supposed to be creative and a fun thing, and because it's turned into such a big business, people feel very pressured to get the shot, to get what they need in a certain amount of time, to save money, to be rewarded. But that's not how art. It's art, whether it's a poop and fart comedy or it's like Shakespeare or it's Scorsese. It's everything has merit. Everything deserves quality and time, and I think people should have time to feel relaxed, because if you can't be relaxed and you have to play a character that has to do like cry and be sad or be happy or be villainous or whatever word, or be that takes a lot to ask of someone.
Wouldn't it be easier as an actor to get really small parts and just get paid thousands of dollars for like a really small part instead of having to like remember a long
Well,
part?
as they say in the acting world, there are no small parts, just small actors.
Like if I was gonna be, I would want to be background actor or like 2 lines where you're just like, hey, what's going on, guys, and then walk off.
The thing that you don't understand is to get any words or lines at all is not easy.
Yeah,
it's not
no.
so easy.
No, I'm just saying as a dream, but like
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I'm saying that it's easier to do a small part than to learn a big long part.
In theory, but what does that matter? You're an actor. You want to have a part. You want a part. You want to dig into a part. You want to memorize stuff and be part of the story. Why would you? That's
why I'm looking at it differently.
The point isn't like, let me come on set. Let me just be on set so I can be on set for some people when they get older and retire and they're like, I just want a little cameo or whatever. But when you're digging into a role, you want to be part of it. You want to. But a lot of times you might have a role and you might work your butt off, and it turns out that either you were bad or it was bad, or I've been in things where I'm like, oh, I didn't really love my performance, but I didn't really love the project, and I think it's harder when everything is new. Like, I don't know, I made my movie Yoko Shimono. It's my first movie. I want to make more movies and web series. I was also in it. In retrospect, maybe I should have played the main character. I don't know. What did you think of the movie? What did you think of, in terms of like a first time movie? And obviously you could tell, like, it's not a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, no, but it has like a lot of elements, which is like, cool. I want to see where this is going for sure. So the concept is good. It's about a guy who falls in love with a mime, right?
Yeah, it's a quirky love story between a mime and a therapist.
And it's kind of like a psychological element of like what's going on.
Yeah, there's some psychological, and I was playing with that a little bit. I was gonna do other things possibly with it, but I didn't like because the original, I wanted to keep it pure and be real. And the love story was the pure part of it. All the things that kind of developed subconsciously and secondary from it, like I didn't really want to force it and push it. And they're there. And like any movie or any TV show or any art or anything, people interpret it the way they want to interpret it, right? And how many times do you hear a musician or you hear a director say, "Oh, what did you think it meant? What did you think?" Right? Because
What did you
there
think
is
it
no wrong
meant?
answer. It's what you think.
Yeah, I just thought that was a cool angle, but
So yeah, go ahead.
well, no, I wasn't gonna say anything.
But yeah, but but I think that's also a bigger point. You are Brandon, I'm Matthew. We met on TikTok, and we're able to become become friendly and friends from across the country, New York and California, and like I think part of it is that is what's missing from a lot of these interactions is that it's too tap the screen, and then eventually I do get to break through and talk to some of these tap the screen people or whatever you want to call them, people that don't do that, and then you become friendly, you become more involved, but
Well,
it's
I've made a lot of friends through you too because you have like a community and like people are there talking and interacting more.
That's good
So
to hear. There are people that have said to me that I helped them so much. I'm like thinking I did, and maybe just because they became friends with my friends, and I got people to be more secure with themselves and like a motivational thing. And it wasn't even like something that I set out to do. It's just like almost like a byproduct of just what I being me. And I want people to be happy and successful. And like, why shouldn't we all be happy and successful and supportive if we can, right?
yeah, and yeah, it's just I mean, you could be doing. I guess I would want to see you doing that all the time instead of the battling stuff. But I mean, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Well, what do you mean? Like, you mean just be alone, be like alone?
No, no, talking to people who will talk to you back and forth and have a conversation versus like the people who are just wanting to battle or whatever.
But the other thing too is like, you can't predict what people are gonna, because I always try to like when I used to go live with people, sometimes we would battle, right? And sometimes I wouldn't battle and I would just talk to them. But the problem is then I would when I'm talking to somebody for hours, good or bad, and I wouldn't battle. And like, and
No tips.
so I think that's part of it is that like, if you just go on live once in a while, then it's whatever. But if you're always on, right, and you are not ever making any money from it, like you're spending all this time doing it and cutting into your own life, your own money, your own sleep, and I think that becomes it's kind of like a waiter. Like a waiter will go pay or to wait tables. They will take the train or the car and go into work, and they only make money if they get tips. So if they don't get tips or they get bad tips, they don't get enough tips. They spent that time and effort to work, to make money, to serve people, and then when they get home, instead of having the $100 for the day or whatever, maybe they only made $10 or they only made $20, and maybe they spent $20 to get there. It's the same concept, don't you agree?
It is because there's the financial aspect. But my question is going to be pie in the sky question. If you were just broadcasting and you knew that you were going to have money, what would you be broadcasting about?
Oh, money was no issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could do more stuff, I would love to be doing live at different places, different events, different conventions. I would love to have my own little like tour bus or whatever and go from state to state and meet people and go to different conventions and show different things and maybe even go to different countries too. But that would be cool. Obviously now it's a little bit different because we live in different times with the pandemic and everything, even though it's sort of like hopefully getting better. But I think like that would be cool to do and like be able to broadcast on the bus, to have cameras on the bus,
Yeah.
broadcast,
Yeah, those are cool
have
ideas.
crew follow you and go to different events and different things that people are doing in shows and sporting events and whatever. Maybe trying different foods at different places. I know that's kind of been overdone. People eating food like certain weird foods, weird food contests. People have done that, but that could be cool. Like Vegas has a lot. I know by over there by you in your area. But lots of things. They just making people laugh and have a good time. But I think it's also I could mix in. So I have my own streaming show. I would do that part of it. I would do a studio part with a guest, maybe. I would do, and maybe we play games. I don't know because it's a little Fallon-esque. But I would also do things where I would like make like mini series, like a mini TV show where I would show like a 2 or 3 minute segment from it each week. Or
Yeah.
maybe I would even like show more of it depending on how much.
It'd be a hodgepodge.
Yeah, variety.
And now it's time for improv. Matthew, would you like to play a story game a rhyme game or do a scene, improv scene?
I mean, either or. What do you have a preference? I'll do any of them.
Well, so the easiest one is the story one, but I feel like we should do an improv game because you're an actor.
Let's do improv. Let's do it.
So I should have been more prepared, but in improv you don't have to be prepared. So we just need a suggestion of
From
who
the
we
audience?
are. Oh yeah, from the audience of where we are. Okay, let's just think together about what's a random location.
Amusement park.
All right, we're at the amusement park, and we're just whoever we want to be. Oh wow, that roller coaster looks really scary.
Yes, it is very scary. I've ridden it 50 times. I come here all the time. This is my favorite amusement park. I'm a season pass member.
Oh man, but I'm too afraid to go on it.
Well, then you should are you allowed to ride it with me? I'm a complete stranger. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm just watching you from a distance and just like amazed by how many times you can ride it, but um I can ride it. I'm allowed to ride it. I'm just worried about going on it. I need your encouragement.
You could do it!
Yay! Hold on. Oh, I think I'm starting to believe it now. Hold
You should do
on.
it, my friend.
I think I'm having a change. I think I'm experiencing a change. Oh. Oh man, would you like to ride it together?
Actually, of course, yes, I would love to. That sounds very lovely.
Oh,
Can we also have dinner later afterwards?
well, I'm just a little kid, but
Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't realize because you have a beard. I didn't realize.
you didn't realize,
I didn't realize that. Yeah,
but
I was
but
thinking.
but we can go on the roller coaster
I
and
didn't
then my
realize.
mom can make sure that we're, you
Oh
know,
yes,
safe. I'm
please.
safe.
Yes, no. Well, so this whole improv is a little strange because if you're a little kid and I'm an adult, then why would I want to ride the roller? It's just weird. No.
Well, come meet my
I thought you
mom.
were. I thought you were just.
Come meet my mom. She'll say it's okay.
I just thought you were okay. Hi,
Oh,
Mom.
hey, what's your name?
Bill.
Bill, you're talking to my son?
He was talking to me about this. He was scared of
Oh
the
yeah,
roller coaster. I'm a avid rider of roller coasters.
and he's a big fan, and I give you permission to ride the roller coaster with him.
Well, thank you.
And there's nothing creepy about this. It's just we really trust you.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him come with you now. You guys are gonna come together.
I hope not.
Hey pal. All right, let's go. Let's go. And guess what? My mom says she'll go to dinner with you.
What?
Yeah. Do you like you like what you see?
I mean, yeah. She's. I mean, a little hairy upper lip, but I'll work with it.
And scene.
That was a little bit scary. I mean, I was trying to play like a nerdy guy that rides a roller coaster a bunch, but then you went into the. I wasn't sure if you were a kid or not. I was thinking you weren't a kid.
I wasn't.
It'd be weird for you to play a kid because you weren't playing a kid like stereotypical. You weren't like, oh, I'm really scared, and oh my god, my mommy. You were just kind of like, I don't know. I'm the.
Well, that's on me. That's on me. I wasn't playing a kid well enough, but I was a kid in my brain.
Oh well, I wasn't sure you were a kid because I just thought you were an adult that was scared of the roller coaster. I just when you were like, oh, I don't know. I have to ask my mommy. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I think it's funny. I think it was funny.
That was funny and great.
I think it was funny. And now it's time for rapid fire questions.
Then
Then I'll let you get out of here.
little friend.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Star Wars or Marvel?
Star Wars. Good close.
Blonde or brunette?
Both.
In a three-way? Tall or short?
What does that mean?
Tall or short?
Both. I don't have a
beard or mustache? Hold on, I fucked that up. Beard or mustache?
Beard. How did you F that up?
Because I smacked something down here and made a loud noise.
Oh, okay.
Do you think tire salesmen believe their own BS?
No.
What is success for you?
Being able to have the freedom to create what I want, and being able to live and support myself doing that as a creator, and my own show even, and continue to inspire and work with other people too to build them up.
The
Rise up.
hodgepodge of a show, Matthew Rappaport show. I can't wait.
It's a hodgepodge.
I watch it every night actually on TikTok Live.
Yeah.
Matthew Rappaport, New York actor. I'll put all your
I'll put
socials
all
in
my
here.
links.
What is some good life advice for kids?
Don't wait to do things. Just go and do it. Like if you have any thoughts or any ideas, just try it, even at the most minimal of level, because time is the most valuable resource, and you'll never get time back. So if you have an idea, if you want to make a YouTube video, if you want to make a TikTok, if you want to do it, just do it, and just continue to do it and stick with it. Don't wait. Don't be scared, and don't care what other people think.
I think those are the answers to the next question I was going to ask. Was like, what if they're like scared to do it? Like, just don't be scared is the advice.
Yeah. So like, the world, the internet, for the most part, they're not necessarily people that you know, and so like you shouldn't be worried about what they think. I mean,
That's a good way to get over the fear.
Yeah, like, listen, worst case scenario is someone calls you cringe. That's happened to me, or what, they don't like what you're doing, and so what? Or they do like what you're doing. They say, I've had videos that I've made where people go, "This is cringe, this is terrible," and then someone said, "This is the funniest thing ever," and you're gonna be famous one day. So like in the same video. So like,
As older guys, like there's going to be teenagers who are just going to think we're cringe just for being old, solely just for being old.
Which I never, when I was there, when I was like in my 20s, that wasn't a thing for me. I didn't really think someone was cringe because of their age.
I still admire people in their 50s. I still admire people in their 30s, but like, or even as a kid, I was like, I want to be like Jim Carrey. I want to be like Adam Sandler. They're in their 30s, whatever. But like, I feel like I've been called a pedophile just for just being on TikTok. People are like, they think I'm creepy or something just because of my age only, you know?
Yeah, well, and you can see it from their point of view, because they think they can connect with other people their age, and when they don't, it's bizarre. But I think that when we were younger, the age gap, like when we were 20, people that were 30 and 40 just felt older just based on life. But I feel like now it's a little different. I feel like a lot of people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and maybe even 60s are a lot more younger mentally than they used to be, if that makes sense.
And that does make sense,
The
actually.
internet, I think, because it's brought us all closer together in the last 20 years, 30 years.
Do you have any questions for me?
How many am I? What number episode am I? 2, 3?
Well, not sure what order I'll put them out, but you're my 4th interview so far.
And how have your other interviews gone? How do you feel they've gone?
I thought I've done well every time so far.
Oh, that's good. And
4 winners.
How does this compare to the other 3? Is it on par?
It's on par, and it's good. And I liked it a lot.
Aw, I like you too. Aren't you glad I'm here? I like your
Hold
hoodie.
on.
What?
Hold on. Was that okay? No. Oh, you got another question? A follow-up question?
Follow-up question. In your opinion, are New Yorkers or East Coasters too obsessed with In-N-Out, and do you think it's overrated?
I love In-N-Out. I think it's properly rated. And it's delicious. Best burger I've ever had. And
Really?
I don't know why people are so against it.
No, they're for it, I think. I didn't think they're against
Well, I think people only get against it because they're like, oh, it's too hyped up, and then they're expecting too much or something. But for me, it's the most delicious burger out there.
There are a lot of delicious burgers. It's hard to say the best, but yeah. And
it's just my
also Brandon, you have something called TikTok Tuesdays.
20 TikTok Tuesdays. The idea was to post 20 every Tuesday, but I only did it once or twice.
No. What made you come up with that idea?
Just like the engagement thing of like making a lot of content and like motivating myself to make a lot of content, but the The problem is that when you post 20 TikToks, you get 0 views on 10 of them,
Right, or all of them,
or
because
all of them,
the
and
extra
so it
too.
wasn't algorithm friendly. But I like the idea of it.
And what do you see the future? So the future is going to be audio, video, and audio, video clips, audio podcasts.
My goal since I was in my 20s was to get on YouTube. I don't have like a whole master plan, but I'm just like, if I can get on YouTube and post stuff, I'll feel good about myself.
Well, that's good.
You've already done it. You've already like done it and been over it already, but I'm like, it's like a big goal for me.
No, that's awesome. You should keep doing it. My bigger goal obviously would be like, hey, I would love to be in a Scorsese movie or be cast in something and work that way,
Yeah.
like one thing.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of roles, my mom says all the time, there are a lot of roles, a lot of people out there that are, back when I was 10, 15 years ago, people on TV were like very pretty, mostly like very attractive and very physically in shape and everything. And now like you have people from all walks of life and all spectrums, all sizes, and
Well, you have 5,000 times more shows these days.
streaming, yeah.
Does that reflect like when you're looking for jobs? Do you see all those pop up and can see them all?
Sadly, no. So that's the other problem. So a lot of people think, oh, you're an actor, just get an agent, just get a manager, just audition. Well, to get an agent, to get a manager, you have to have connections. They have to see you in something or know something. And then also then to get an audition through them or just in general, you have to create a reel and create something. And then you have to there's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of preparation and work, and it costs money. You have to spend a lot of money to make sure you look a certain way, get headshots, make videos, put things together, and then you could spend all that money, you put in all that effort, and you might send all that out and they still no one will ever look at it. So you might it's a big risk. It's a huge risk, and it's difficult. Like a lot of people say, auditioning is hard work, but just getting the audition is hard work. And then if you get the audition, you're looking to have the audition. And I just saw Michael Keaton say he used to hate auditioning, but he says and this is true, he says the audition is the job. When he goes to an audition, or he did, that would be work. Whether he gets it or not, he wants to get it. You want to get them all, but it was the audition itself. So that way, when he would go to the audition, he already acted like he had the part, and he was just going in to do it.
Yeah, he gives it his all, I'm sure. And it's like I do here, it's like when I walk away from here, I'm like, all right, job well done.
Yeah.
But hold on. So, but like, it's not like you can just find these acting jobs on Google or in the newspaper.
There are breakdowns for jobs to submit to. I think sometimes it costs money. There are open calls too, but a lot of the open calls backstage or things like that, I used to go to, and like you might wait for hours and maybe you get seen. But the thing is like, imagine going to an audition full of energy, fresh, prepared, and being able to nail it. But then imagine waiting on a line, waking up super early, waiting on a line all day, and then by the time you finally get in to audition, because maybe you don't live close, whatever, when you find, and it's not even making excuses, I'm just letting you know what it's like.
Yeah.
By the time you get, by the time you get to the audition, you sign up, then you have to wait in line for many hours, perhaps the entire day, and not get seen. Or maybe you finally get seen, but you've literally been waiting there, sitting there. All your energy is sinking. You woke up early, you're tired. Maybe you're having coffee, you're having food, you're getting anxious, you're getting nervous, you're getting bored, you're getting whatever. And by the time you get to go into the room and you try to put that all behind you and be that fresh-faced, excited person you were when you first got there, it is almost, for everyone, almost impossible to match the energy that you had at the beginning that you would need to get that role. So
does the agent help you get closer up to the front of the line, or better auditions with less people? Or
will hopefully get you auditions that will have a scheduled audition where you're like, okay, your audition is at 10 a.m.
Yeah. So it's hard to do that on your own, get a scheduled audition.
Yeah, it's harder. But even those auditions don't, if there are enough people, those could run late. You could be waiting, maybe not as long, but you could still be waiting. But I think, and this isn't even, it's just like the whole, that's why I like the internet. That's why I like social media. And I know a lot of people say you got to go out there, you got to audition. But I think like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that if you put out enough content and you grow a big enough audience, that is enough to help you get connections? Or
I think that you're building connections, but also like this is either Gary Vee advice or whatever. But like, if I were you, I would like put out a reel just on my YouTube or whatever, and just like just examples of myself acting, and then share it with people that way.
I could do that. What did you think of my performance in the movie that I made? My movie.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
So like, yeah, just that's, and I've toyed with the idea of like acting or whatever, but like just like a little reel where it's like, oh, this guy's capable of this. And when you post stuff like this, even this or whatever, and everything you post, it could reach the right person, and they're like, oh, that's exactly who I want for my movie,
It's possible. But I also think a lot of times people write roles for people or they have people in mind, or they like say they see someone in something, like they'll see someone in something, it's 1 a.m. See someone in something and they'll be like, oh, I want to work with that person, so I'll bring them in.
And that's the other thing, is like creating your own thing again. I know it costs a lot of money, but you can make smaller, like a skit, like a 5-minute skit or something.
Yeah, do my own stuff for sure. Like even there's a scene in the movie where the mime is just where they're having like a little fight, and even that little scene where they're having the little fight with each other, I thought that scene alone could be its own movie.
Right. Clips from the movie too. It would be, yeah.
Could be good.
All right, so this is a question I ask everybody. 3 hottest TikTokers?
Me.
Yourself?
No, I really don't. That's a weird question because I don't really hottest what physical, like looks or
physically, yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
You don't think about stuff like that.
No, it's not that I don't think about people being attractive enough, but the hottest, I don't. There's so many people that are attractive.
I tried to change the game there to TikTokers. I know mine. Mine's like well, anyways. But 3 celebrities. Let's do 3 celebrities. Hottest celebrity crushes.
I don't really. So here's I don't want to like. I'm not destroying your game, but I think like, as you get older, you're like, okay, the people might be physically attractive, but you don't know them from Adam. You don't know them at all. So like,
well, I will say 3 out of the 4 people I've asked this to did not play along. So you're in good company.
Oh, well, because it's weird. It's like there's no hottest TikToker. Everyone, don't you agree?
Right. No, I just like
you actually say there are people you can find physically attractive, but in terms of like,
I think it's Bella Porch. I think it's Bella Porch.
Okay.
I think it's Sofia Gomez.
I don't even know who that is.
And I think it's maybe Ashley by the Sea.
Yeah, but those are just women. What about men?
Well, that's the idea, is we're men and we're attracted to women.
Yeah, but you said hottest TikTokers. You didn't say hottest female TikTokers.
Am I, Brandon K., the nicest person you've met?
You're a nice person, but the nicest? The nicest?
So who is it? Who is the nicest?
The nicest? I don't know.
Is it your mom?
He's coming for me. He's coming for me. He's hide your wife, hide your kids. What? Like, why? Do you think you're the nicest person in the world?
No, it's just a funny question I thought of to ask.
All right. Yes, you are nice, but I'm nicer.
What do you think of all these single-use plastics? That can't be good for the environment, can it?
Well, that's bad for the environment. It's terrible, John Oliver. Terrible.
All right, and that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Oh
so
no,
much.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's like we just started. How could it be over?
A bunch of more questions like that. We covered everything.
God.
We covered everything already.
What do you think about my tiny hands? Do they play or are they played out? Do I do them too much? I feel like I rely on them too much.
I think they're not for me because I'm like not like a shtick guy.
I can't hear you anymore.
No, you can't hear me.
Is it me that did that?
Hello, test.
Oh, are you back?
My mic's still on. Okay. I said that it's not for me because I'm like not a shtick guy, like a ham guy.
So why do you? So I could be real. I could be ham. I could be ham real. I don't know. So you like me better when I'm more like this than when I'm hammy, right?
But that's not the point. The point is do what you like.
The point. I don't know. I just tried things. It's
No,
lit.
but I'm saying I support you in your tiny hands, and I'm like, hey, I hope he blows up, has 1 million followers off his tiny hands. I'm just saying, for me, I like more cerebral comedy.
But do you think most people do? That's the
No,
problem.
no, that's the thing. Is I think
Most people want this.
Yep,
They want like they want the basic. They want the guy falling down, right?
which
That's
I'll
why
do. I'll do that. I'll fall down.
That's why, like on
I have
TikTok,
to.
they want people doing like eating gross food and
Hey, I'll do that stuff.
doing
And you
crazy
think
dances.
I like to do that stuff? I
It's
do
fun.
actually.
I can dance, but that doesn't show. I don't know if that shows skill. That just shows shenanigans.
So you can find your tiny hands at what's it called? Tiny Hand Matt at
No, there is
TikTok.
Tiny Hand Matt, but Matthew Rappaport is my main TikTok, and New York Actor is my backup. But
NY actor.
you just type Matthew Rappaport into Google. Oh no, there's a lawyer named Matthew Rappaport, so you don't want to. You don't.
And then you got your YouTube channel.
I have a YouTube, Matt Rappaport vlog.
And Yoko Shimono.
Is a movie that I made.
Did I say it wrong? Did I say it right?
Right, Yoko. So Yoko Shimono. The reason why, well, obviously Yoko Ono, but also the woman's name was Yoko in real life and in the movie. And then
I'm surprised to hear that. I mean, I should have seen that on the credits, but I'm surprised.
And and like Schmo is just a funny Yiddish thing, and that's what I wanted to go. And I like the point. He's a Schmo. He is kind of schmuck, whatever.
That is a good title. I always get it mixed up with Yoko Shmo. No, with Shmo Yoho.
Okay,
they're the ones who do the corn song.
They did they did the audio mix.
Yeah,
it's corn.
Yeah,
I really like it. Cool.
Okay, so we said your YouTube. We said everything. We said it all.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I have it all.
All right, and I appreciate you coming on, and I'll catch you on live later.
All right, bye, Brandon. Give me your high five.
Tiny five. Appreciate you.
I love you, man. That's great. Just kidding. Okay.
Thanks, pal.
What's going on now?
I think I'm going to end the broadcast.
Oh, we're done.